So in this video, we will look at the transfer of thermal energy booklet, answers and their explanation and their strategies to sort them out. Question number 1, thermal radiation, it is the vacuum where it can go and it travels with the speed of light. All others are wrong. Look, thermal radiation is a longitudinal wave. No. Travels as ultraviolet. No, it travels as IR. White surfaces are better emitters of thermal radiation than black. That is absolutely wrong. So, a slice of bread is placed under a red hot grill. How will the heat get to it? Through radiation, because of the reason. First, conduction cannot happen because there is no direct contact, and convection cannot happen because it goes up. Number 3, solid body is heated, thermal energy transferred, molecules vibrate and pass through to other molecules. So this is how it goes. There is no mention of heat as metal because it is not mentioned that it is metal. So we will consider the vibration only. The tubes inside a solar heating panel use sun's radiation. Why are the tubes black? Because they absorb radiation well. Copper rod is heated at one end. It is copper, so the heat will transfer through electrons. So free electrons is must. So look at this. So these two are rejected. So look at this. Cooler end to the outer. That's wrong. So it moves from hotter to the cooler end. Copper is a better connector because it has free electrons. So the diagram shows a frozen pond, ice slowly melting as heat is transferred. By which process is heat transferred? Conduction and radiation, because ice is solid, so it allows conduction and the heat comes to ice as radiation. One might ask in this question that, well, why the convection is not happening? Because convection doesn't happen from the top. It happens from the bottom. That's why the heat is getting from the top, and that's why. So here the heat is given, and which statement explains this? Well, the water above the heat source rises because it is convection taking place, and it becomes less dense. It goes up, and the denser water comes down, and this is how it warms up. So here, two identical metal plates. Which metal plate absorbs more energy and emits more energy? In this, it has to be black because black is a good absorber and good emitter. In this, heat transferred through aluminum PAM and then through plastic handle. Aluminum PAM by movement of electron and plastic handle vibration of molecules on. Silver cup filled with boiling water. Man touches outside surface, finds it extremely hot. Why is the surface so hot? Because it's a good conductor. Sunlight falls on C and D. Which container does all the water evaporates first? The one with the bigger surface area takes on heat more. So energetic molecules at the surface leave quickly, leaving behind slower ones, which again get heat. So this one goes very quickly. This has a less surface area, so it will take more time. Conduction of heat will be through free electrons moving from the hot end further along the road. Wet towels will dry in the sun and windy first and quickest. Heat is conducted by vibration and electron in metals. Hot liquid, glass walls, space, air. What reduces the heat loss by radiation? It is the silver S because this will reflect the heat coming from outside. That's why. And the space inside will minimize the conduction, the loss by conduction. In hot water, electric fans to keep cool because they increase the rate of evaporation from the skin. Metal cans, the one with black and rough, will be the coolest one. Heat transfer through vacuum heat transfers through vacuum by radiation. Icebox here, the density when it starts working, it cools the air below it, around it. So the density of air increases and it settles down, sinks to the bottom. That makes the bottom air go up, cools down, and the system goes. Convection takes place, everything gets cool. You will notice this in your fridge. It is never at the bottom, it is at the top. Coolest water will be in the dull black because it radiates heat more and its top is open, so it will allow more heat to go from the top as well. IR will be absorbed by the black and emitted by the black as well. Heat transfers are prevented by vacuum to avoid conduction and convection. Well, the energy transfers during melting from room to ice. When it gets water, when it becomes ice becomes water, and then the energy will be from room to water to bring it to the room temperature. Question not included. Question not included in your syllabus. This one, this is a graph that is used by usually the glass windows, the vacuum in the glass windows. So look at the graph. As you increase the thickness, what do? The thickness will increase, will decrease the conduction, but increase the convection as you start increasing the layer. Why? Because the more air means it gets heat and starts convection. At the same time, the less solid means, the less contact means less conduction. So there is a point where the both are optimized. This point is the optimal point. So you shouldn't make more thick than this, the glass, the layer of air in the glass. And you shouldn't make, so this one, thermal energy transfers through double glazed windows. So it is transferring when it is transferring and the transfer starts to decrease and it goes down and down and down. But if you go more down, you will have more convection. So this is the point where conduction and convection are optimal. So 1 centimeter because the total thermal energy transfer is least here. The heater is here. The bottom will sink because of the heat. So water at the bottom of the tank stays cold for a long time because the water that is warm goes up because of being less dense. So the water at the bottom will still be cold. It cannot go up. This is why. And the reason for this is water is a poor conductor. So water cannot transfer heat through conduction. It needs convection. That's why. Density changes is in convection. The density becomes less, thing goes up, and the denser thing, liquid or gas, goes down. So the heat is transferred in the metal through conduction and around the room through convection. So her left hand feels warmer because the side is painted black, and the black is a good radiator of heat. The black side radiates more heat. Where is the heat lost by convection? It is lost through the chimney because we have it all closed, so heat cannot go out through these areas. But in the chimney, when we have a fireplace, the heat will go up because of convection. So here we have ice and we have boiling water because of this candle burner. And there is a metal glaze to keep the ice at the bottom. The ice remains ice instead of the water being boiling at the top. Why? Because water is a poor conductor of heat. It will not conduct heat downwards. It will have convection, but convection doesn't move downwards. It moves upward due to the less dense stuff. So this is a thermo vacuum flask. There is a silver and there is vacuum. The main reason for silvering is to reduce heat by radiation. Teacher has a large tank of water. At which point should he do this? If he wants convection to take place, he should do it at Y. And what does he want to do? Look, he wants to set up a convection current. So a teacher has a large tank of water which he wants to set up a convection current. Why he can't do this at X? That's the question. Think about this. Look at the cooling and heating. If you cool at X, it's not going to go up. If you cool at Y, it's not going to go down. If you heat at Y, if you cool at Y, it's going to go down and the hot water will go up. Again, cool down, hot go up. Heating at Y will not take the water down, and heating at Z also do the same. It will not take the water down. Thank you.